League Soccer 2025 is officially here, which means in this video, I'm going to be breaking down every single new feature that this update has to offer. As always, I'm going to first go through all the new features that First Touch Games has listed in their update notes. Then I'm going to be going over the other things I've noticed and sort of giving my first impressions and opinions on all the new features in the game. So the first thing on the list is updated team data featuring all the 24-25 season players. So basically, they updated the team data to reflect the 2024 and 2025 seasons, so all the players that got transferred in between updates will now be on their teams for those real team events as well as scenarios, and maybe they'll have like a different kit that they're wearing because they switch teams. Now, obviously, with the new team data, we also get new ratings for players. Obviously, that doesn't change any of the ratings currently on your team, but any new players you buy, there might be some new rating changes. Now, First Touch Games did actually post on their Instagram some of the biggest rating changes, but obviously that doesn't include all of them. Usually, the Dream League Soccer subreddit will be on top of that, so if you just check it in the coming days, they should have a full-on list of ratings that have been upgraded. So that about does it for the team data for now, and then the next point is classic players. This was the main feature that they advertised, that they promoted throughout all of November, and yes, all-time greats are here. Now, contrary to popular belief, these legendary players are in fact free, as long as you play the game enough. Because in Dream League Soccer 2025, they introduced a new prize ladder feature, which is essentially a prize ladder. Wow, the explanation's right there. It is basically a glorified season pass, except it lasts 90 days, so that is 3 months, and the rewards are actually insane. There are 4 classic players you can win. You can win either Batistuta, Petit, Bergkamp, and Schuker. And it does not appear that there's any paywall limits on this prize ladder, so you can actually obtain all 4 of these players as long as you get 200,000 dream points, which is going to be difficult because you get about 140 for every career mode win in the legendary division, and about 150 for every online win. Now, of course, the only downside is that these players don't show up in the transfer market, and there's not a bunch of classic players. There's only 4 of them. However, I'm under the belief that every single prize ladder season will have 4 new classic players. So I think they have a lot of them in the bank, and they're just releasing them 4 at a time, which honestly works better than just throwing them all out there and having everybody spend so much money to just try to get them in the transfer market all at once. This way, you have to play the game for a while before you get classic players to begin with, and then you have to wait another 90 days to get more classic players, spreading out the excitement of classic players. I think this is done very, very well. And I guess while I'm here, I might as well just use the boost here. So now for the next 5 matches, I'll get the 75% active boost. You can also buy a random boost for 100 gems, and you get a 60% chance for a common, 30% chance for a rare, and 10% for a legendary. So this is essentially the way to use your money to increase just the speed that you get these special players, but you still can't get them without playing the game. So I think that's kind of cool. The next on the list is Portuguese commentary, which we heard in the first teaser. To turn it on, you just go to your settings and you go to audio, and then you switch from English to Portuguese, and then you play a game.
A chance é boa! E tá na rede! Gol!
The next feature they mentioned is increase squad size, keep more of your value players. This was something I've been wanting for a very long time, and I think a lot of you guys have also been wanting for a very long time, and yes, they've given us a lot of space. Especially if these players end up being exclusive and cycle new ones every 90 days. Like, there's no way people are going to get rid of them, right? So, yeah, they definitely needed to have more space, and if we go into facilities and accommodation, I have a level 5 accommodation center. You have to pay lots and lots of gems for this. The next tier is 450, which is not cheap. And I think the next one's going to be even higher, and that's kind of crazy to me, honestly. Now, one thing that is nice is that I used to have 40 with level 5, and they started me out with 44, so with the new update, I got 4 extra spots, at least. That's nice. Now, the last 4 things we knew were coming because of all the teasers we've been getting, But this next one is something I was not expecting, which is controller support. Now, controller support is awesome. I don't have any controllers with me right now, so I can't test it, but that is definitely a video I want to do in the future, just playing with a controller. I think that would be cool. But that does show, like, some concern in the competitive space, because, like, is someone with a controller going to be better than someone not using a controller? I don't know, it's interesting. I don't know how I feel about it, but maybe the controller, especially for this type of game, doesn't actually do that much. Alright, we are slowly making progress through this list. They have a lot of features this update, which is great. The next one is a new friend system. Follow and see who's best. So if you go to your profile and click on these little 2-person icons here, you can see your list of friends. And right now I have no friends. But luckily, I have 2 accounts and can play with myself. So, here's how you make a friend. On one of your devices, you're going to click Generate Code, and that will generate a code for you, which expires. So, haha, you can't add me as a friend because it's going to expire before you see this video. And then on your other device, you're going to click Add, and then you're going to type in the code. On this screen, each player profile that you are friends with, including yourself, are ranked in terms of rank. You can see your rank on your profile. Right now, I am rank Elite 7. 67 out of all the possible ranks. So I've got a ways to go, but yeah, it's based off of the amount of wins you have. So I have over 1,700 wins. So I am Elite 7, and once you get 10,000 wins, you're Legendary X. We are now down to gameplay improvements, tackles, runs, marking, shooting, and more. So they make gameplay improvements every single year. It takes me a while to usually get used to them, and I'll usually play games outside of this video. But there is one thing I want to mention for this point. So last year when they introduced the knock-ahead dribble, which is that, and I just lost the ball, as well as the close dribble, or whatever, right? They also introduced secondary pressure, which I found very, very useless because the player that you're controlling for the secondary pressure doesn't steal the ball. However, this year, you just saw that he stole the ball. So it actually is useful this year. So I might actually use it. And clearly, you can still score from the edge of the box with 98 overall Ronaldo. We also get enhanced stadia, fresh stands, and premium arenas to boost your prestige. What this entails is if you go to your stadium setting, instead of the custom stadium, which hasn't changed since the last update, there is this legendary tab where you can just straight up buy stadiums. This one's $34.99, my currency. This one's $24.99, and then this one's 1,250 gems. So if you want your stadium to look like this instead of like this, you can spend a whole bunch of money. That brings us to the last few points. They have a new soundtrack, which you'll have to discover for yourself because I don't want to get copyrighted on this video. Upgraded manager customization, change your look to match your style, as well as improved UI. So as of right now, it seems like you can only customize your head and your skin color for your manager for free. Everything else is behind a paywall of, 15 gems, just like kit templates. But yeah, you have hairstyles, facial hair, outfits, and new things like headwear. Well, they have a lot of headwear you can select, as well as accessories. I can't believe if I want the manager to look like me, I have to pay 10 gems. So yeah, I think the menu, just in general, for customizing your manager is just so much better. I just love seeing all your options. I think this is how most games are, and this is how it should be. And yeah, so that is the manager customization and obviously the UI. And that does it for the update notes. So for the rest of the video, we're going to be going through every single menu and every single mode to see other stuff I've noticed in the updates, because they usually don't list everything. So here we go. I'm going to load up the game. We have our new cover stars, Julian Alvarez, and then Rodrigo, who was the cover star last year. So De Bruyne is finally done. Going into challenges, the daily challenges are exactly the same and are unchanged. As for weekly challenges, although on my Road to Glory account, you actually get DP instead of SP on my weekly challenges, but that is not the case here. Maybe they're experimenting with something. I have no idea. Career mode challenges are also the exact same. But if you go to the Dream League Live challenges, they are still win 150, the top prize. But there is a small change. This legendary technical coach here for 75 wins used to be a rare technical coach. So it got a little bit of an upgrade if you're going to consistently win 75 Dreaming Live matches, and maybe you will because you have to upgrade this prize ladder. Going into team management, you can obviously see all the new card designs, all the maxed legendary players I used to have that were black are now this like orange gold color, which is nice, saving the black cards for the special players or the classic players. Now, one thing that is kind of annoying on iPad, the subs, only 3 subs are shown, so you have to scroll a bunch. Now, they do have this filter, so you can filter for goalkeepers, defense, midfielders, and forwards, but I don't know how much that really helps. I mean, it does help, but, like, I would like to have more than 3 subs show up. And then coaches also have new pictures with the addition of special coaches for the new special players, and it would be nice to use them once I get a special player or a classic player, which makes me kind of nervous that these special players aren't always going to be classic players, but we'll have to wait 90 days to find out if that happens. Now, one thing I did want to point out about these special coaches is that if you look at the cost of the gem versus how many stats they increase, the common and the rare cost the exact same amount of gems, and the legendary costs more. I'll put up a table of all the numbers you probably have to worry about, but the common and rare coaches have the same amount of effectiveness as a common coach, which is very bad, and the legendary is even worse. So, yeah, I'm guessing they're making it so, you know, upgrading your classic players are going to be hard, but man, it might be a little too hard, honestly. Now, that is if you can't use regular coaches on special players. We don't know yet. I don't have a classic player. I don't know if anyone does. But yeah, coaches here going to be expensive, but at least you do get to choose your stats. Going into the transfer market, everything seems to be very much similar. If I go to release a player, something I do every single update, they still release for a rare coach. Not a legendary coach anymore. I think just hoping for that is just stupid now. Now, one thing I did see is a brand new agent animation. Right now, I am way too broke to buy a legendary agent, so I'm just going to play the one I saw on Reddit for you and credit the user. So yeah, that right there, I'm showing it, is the new agent animation. It's very long, but it is very similar to a FC walkout, which I think is a solid standard to compare it to. Now, if we go into customization, one thing that did sort of surprise me was that there are no new kit templates. All the kit types are all the same. They've been adding new ones for the past few updates, but I guess they decided they didn't have time for this because of, you know, classic players and all that other stuff, which is understandable, as well as customizing the stadium. You have your shirt, shorts, and socks. Same with logo, no new logos. Team name looks exactly the same. The only thing that's a little bit different is if you edit your players, you can now pick the color of their boots with a picture instead of having to just pick the color. So you can actually see what they look like. If we go into training, you can see the brand new color of the pitch. They love changing that every single year, and I love commenting on it on all these update videos. If we take a look at free kick, a lot of the stuff is the same. They still have the distance to goal. It might function a little bit differently, but I can't really tell. The animations look very similar as well. Same goes for corners. No new buttons, no new animations. It seems very much the same. But if we go back to free training and pass the ball around a little bit, we can click on instant replay and see our brand new replay. So now we actually have a slider instead of just, you know, pressing fast forward or not. You can actually click which player you want to see, which is way better, instead of, you know, pressing it and waiting for it to cycle to it. And then you can tap out of it and it'll hide the slider, so you can get nice high-res pictures. As for new faces, so far Messi, Ronaldo, and Alisson have been very similar. Same with Rodri. Maybe it's a little bit different, although De Bruyne definitely has more detail. His hair is different, especially from the back there. You can see the flow there. Salah's got the shorter hair. He definitely looks different. Griezmann, I swear, changes his hair every single year, so he gets an updated face every single time. Modric definitely has that new detail for Dream League Soccer 2025. And then Toni Kroos definitely got an updated face that looks very much detailed. Then we can go to Exhibition, which is now in the My Club section of the menu. It's no longer off the main menu. You get to see the teams here with the little FC looking like cards, and then if you press play, still can't change your opponent for free, but you get this nice intro of all the players in the locker room, and then you get this animation of the stadium. We'll just watch it because it's cool, it's new, and yeah, it's nice. You get to see the goalkeeper, the defense, the midfield, and the attackers. Obviously, my team's messed up because I tried to see the like all the new faces, but yeah, okay. Look at that. That is super duper cool. Then getting into the main menu, scenarios look untouched, but they do reward you with dream points, so that's nice. Then if we go into career mode, the only thing that's changed is just the icons. You can see Legendary has a new icon, new logo, and stuff like that, and then obviously this whole screen here. Then if we go into Dream League Live, this is also very much unchanged except for the events. The icons look different. As always, they have the Celebration Cup. Still only one attempt for cup events. Events look exactly the same, which leaves only the top bar to look at for any new changes. So if we go into settings, you'll notice that there's actually a difficulty setting, which is a weird thing to keep hidden. But there is a difficulty setting. You can set it to medium or hard. Now, with my minimal experimenting, essentially what I did is I played a career mode game in the International Cup on medium, and then I played it again on hard, and I won very flawlessly both times because, you know, my team is really good and I've played career mode millions of times. Now, I will say it did seem a little bit harder when I set the difficulty to hard mode, but it wasn't that much harder. Like, it's a little bit noticeable. I don't know if that's just placebo, but it seemed harder. So if you want a harder time, you can set it to hard, but it's not going to make it impossible, okay? Then we have the prize ladder, which we already talked about, and then we have the season pass, which looks new and improved, you know, as it does with every single year updates. The main thing that's different this year is that the big rewards are the paid rewards, and they're on top now instead of the bottom. So they really just display all the paid rewards to you, so maybe you'll actually activate the pass. So with that, that is everything new in Dream League Soccer 2025 that I could find, and some first impressions on some of the new features. I'm going to be super excited to go through all the new features in more details in their own specific, dedicated videos. So definitely subscribe so you don't want to miss out on those. But that's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.